Uovo Raviolo. Uovo. Uovo Raviolo. How do you spell it? Uovo Raviolo. Uovo Raviolo. Okay, where were we? Raviolo. That's the singular form of ravioli, in case you are wondering. Anyway, we're making egg yolk ravioli. When is the best time of year to eat egg yolk ravioli? Truly, anytime. But at this moment of early spring, where it's maybe still a little bit cold and you're still craving something a little bit rich, but you also want something that feels like rebirth. Is that too literal? That even makes sense? At what point does it become too ridiculous to dress thematically for the food we are discussing? To make this ravioli, you will first need to make some fresh pasta dough. You can follow my instructions on doing that here. Here. Somewhere. After the dough is well rested, we make the filling. Bring a pot of water to a boil. Salt it. And drop in a few handfuls of spinach to cook for about a minute. Strain and let cool. You can wring out the spinach in a towel or go lazy mode like me and do it with your hands. Roughly chop. Grab a bowl and a container of ricotta that's like 12 ounces. Or make your own ricotta from my recipe here. No, I did not make my own ricotta this day because I had too much to do. And I know that my whole argument is that ricotta is ridiculously easy, but I think I actually just didn't have enough space in my refrigerator to buy the amount of milk and cream it required. But make your own ricotta, because it's cheaper and better. Anyway, add the spinach, some chopped Italian parsley, lemon zest, squeeze of lemon juice or two, a bit of grated garlic, salt, pepper, nutmeg. Mix, mix, mix. Realize that your mixture needs a little bit more structure and add a few handfuls of breadcrumbs and some grated Parmesan. To assemble, grab a sheet tray and cover it with parchment paper. Sprinkle with some semolina flour. Ideally, find yourself a big flat surface to work on. I've covered my dining room table with cling wrap, but I know we are not all privileged enough to have a dining room table. It took me a very long time to have enough space for this, and I've totally made this in a tiny kitchen. So if I can do it, you can do it. I believe in you. I find it easiest to work with my dough in quarters. So starting with one, I hand roll it out with my rolling pin to get it thin enough to be able to fit through the machine. And then I send it through on the thickest setting. Fold in on itself on each side. Hand roll it again to thin it out once more. And then start sending it through the machine on the thickest setting, which is usually labeled 0. I know that's a little bit counterintuitive, but the higher the number on the pasta machine, the thinner it is. Moving up a number for each pass. And flouring intermittently about every other number. Every machine will be a little bit different with its steps and thicknesses, but I usually take my ravioli dough up to a 6, possibly a 7. What you're looking for is to be able to see light shining through your dough. You can watch a slightly more in-depth process of rolling with the machine in my pumpkin ravioli video here. Square off the sides of your sheet and save the scraps for soup. Or you can make freaky ravioli shapes if you have leftover filling. That's in the pumpkin ravioli video. Create a square by folding a corner onto itself to create a triangle. And cut. With several squares cut out, dab a spoonful of filling onto one side of the triangle and create a divot with the bottom of the spoon. This is where the egg will rest. I have a bowl of cracked eggs. No, I did not do this on camera. I am bound to break all of them if I do. Just can't risk losing eggs like that. Very carefully. Separate the yolk from the egg with your hand. Back and forth once or twice to get rid of any egg white. And gently place the yolk in the divot. It is super, super easy to break a yolk. See, I broke one. Give it a sprinkle of salt. Dip your finger or a brush into the egg whites and wet 2 corners of the square. Fold the top over to create a triangle. Starting on one side, press the dough into itself, working out any air pockets before moving to the other side and repeating. Alternatively, you could make larger ones by filling the center of a square, placing your egg yolk, and then using a second square to cover the top. Seal the edges with a fluted rotary cutter, or if you don't have one, a fork will work just fine. Move on to your sheet tray and repeat with the next 3 quarters. When you are ready to cook, bring a big pot of water to a boil. You know the drill. Salt that water. For an easy sauce, once the water is at a boil, melt a couple tablespoons of butter in a pan, depending on how many you're making. Add some chopped leeks. They don't need to be chopped too fancy. Maybe a bit of white pepper. Drop your ravioli in the water. Cook for a few minutes. Add a spoonful or 2 of the starchy pasta water to the butter leak situation. You know the ravioli is done when you bite into it and it still has a little bit of pushback, but it's not still white on the inside of the dough. You can press 2 pieces of the scrap pasta together and cut it out and then throw that in the water, and that can just be your tester, and that'll let you know if the other ones are done. Hot tip. I didn't do that though. But you could. 1 raviolo is usually enough for 1 person because it is super rich. So sometimes I'll make a couple of extra small ravioli with just the cheese filling to go on the side. When it's done, fish the ravioli out of the sauce and put it on a plate. Light some candles. Pour some wine. Grate some cheese. And hit that like button. I mean, that egg yolk pop, you're welcome. Let me know in the comments what pasta shape or sauce or stuffed pasta shape you want to see next. Should we do tortellini, agnolotti? What else could we do? There are things to be done. All right. We'll see each other again soon. Thanks for watching.